Hello friends, Grace here. I just want to draw your attention to a news article someone published on our Facebook Country Living page. If you're on Facebook and you are not on that page, you really want to get on that page. I'll post a link below. It's a Country Living page solely dedicated to country living. There's over 8,000 members in that group, and you can just simply get advice on the country living. There's quite a lot of people there that do country living, and they're ready to offer advice if you've got any questions and all sorts of useful information solely dedicated to country living and making preparations. So do join that page if you are on Facebook. But someone just posted a link to this news article which I thought was really interesting, and it states, Millennials are preparing for the worst in case of a climate change disaster, and it's prompting them to buy rural land in places like Oregon and Vermont. So a lot of millennials, like young professionals, are now buying properties in rural areas and are making preparation in case of a climate catastrophe. It states these young professionals are buying up land as a backup plan in case a climate change disaster devastates their urban homes, the Times says. Some are said to be building self-sufficient homes and counting on their properties tripling in value when others follow in their footsteps. It then goes on to say, some city-dwelling millennials are investing in properties in rural locations for ominous reasons, in case their urban homes are ravaged by disasters related to climate change. It then goes on to say, these young professionals are building homes to be self-sufficient and sustainable, and some are betting that the land they buy now will grow astronomically in value in the future. Mark Dowski, a 33-year-old who lives in Greenwich, Connecticut, and owns a company that builds green roofs in New York City, told the Times he bought 4 acres of land in the Catskill in upstate New York. He's building a small home there that the Times says will have its own well, power lines and septic system, as well as a vegetable garden. So they are making preparation. They are expecting a catastrophe to hit. It then says, if his home city of Greenwich, a coastal city just north of New York City, is ever rendered uninhabitable, I'll have a safe space. I just find it interesting how that people of the world are now making preparation to move out to rural areas because they are expecting a catastrophe to happen. And we, as Adventists, we know this is going to happen for sure, no doubt. And we have the message from the prophet telling us over 150 years ago, out of the cities, out of the cities, out of the cities, because the judgment is going to come. But for some reason, we are just so slow. We don't hear this message being preached in the church. We are the ones who should be leading out and giving this message to the world in regards to the coming judgments. But it seems like there are many in the world that are far ahead of us and can see that something is not right. Yeah, they may be likening it to climate change, and they probably don't have the full knowledge that we have. But I believe it's the Holy Spirit that's also impressing them that things are not right in this world. Just look at the world today. Something crazy is going to happen, and if you can't see it, then you are living under a bush. There's something not right with you. Because I believe that we are in a time similar to the times of Noah, when the animals were going into the ark, 2 by 2, 7 by 7, the clean animals. And everyone was just looking on, like they could see that it was an amazing thing that was happening. But for some reason, it didn't register that the whole world was practically going to be destroyed by a flood. And this is where we are, friends. The judgments are going to come. The iniquity abounding in the cities, what we are beholding is just crazy. What they are doing to us to dumb down our minds in this generation with the technology that they are bringing out today. It's a serious warfare. And what makes this warfare so dangerous is that it's covert. Many don't know who their enemies are. It's not back in the times of Israel, where they were fighting the Amalekites and they were boldly against God and so on. There was like open warfare. Now it's undercover, where many think that those higher up are their friends. Those in the medical professions, the governments are on their side, where they are trying to slowly kill us with the food, with the technology, even Wi-Fi. I have been looking into Wi-Fi and 5G, and what they are doing is horrendous. But we can't see it because we have been dumbed down. It's frightening. It then goes on to say, buying real estate in remote areas as a backup plan in case of an apocalyptic catastrophe isn't a new idea, but it seems to be becoming more mainstream. Silicon Valley's ultra-wealthy have been buying up underground doomsday bunkers in New Zealand that cost up to 8 million. Business Insider previously reported the PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel bought a 4.8 million home there in 2011 and recently had a panic room installed. And a group in Kansas is building an elaborate doomsday shelter, complete with a gym, an indoor dog park, and a climbing wall that will cost 20 million to build and could support a dozen families. So a lot of these wealthy, the rich, they are making preparation. You know, they are building independent off-the-grid homes and they're spending a fortune. So people higher up, they know something is about to kick off. It's only we who seem to be sleeping at this moment. So the world is ripe for disaster, and I hope this will just motivate you that we really do need to get ready. The signs of the times are really telling us that we really don't have any time left. Like, as I read that article, I was like, wow. Most importantly, I have to say that we obviously have to make sure our relationship with God is right. You know, we need to stop sinning and start keeping his commandments. And many of them who are making preparation, who don't know God, that are doing it for selfish reasons, they will still meet their destruction. Ultimately, we need to make sure our lives are right with God. That's important. But we need to also remember that faith without works is dead. And God has given us clear instruction, especially through the prophet Ellen White telling us, out of the cities, especially if you have children. Just type in out of the cities in her writings and look at what she is saying, what is going to kick off. Friends, we are approaching a crisis that has never been witnessed before in this world. A time of trouble such as never before. And if we are not making preparation, if we are not following the counsels that God has given us in his word, we are going to even experience greater damnation. God established the Seventh-day Adventist Church to be a light to the world through our lives, through diet, through country living, and living just as God designed us to live. But it seems that people in the world are getting far ahead of us, even in diet, even in their lifestyle, while we sleep on and try and imitate the world and remain in the cities, and we send our children to the worldly schools and we wonder why they have no interest in spiritual things. Practically sending them to Moloch, you know, and expect them to know God. Like, it's just crazy, our thought processes. So I'm just saying that we need to really start taking this serious. The Sunday law is upon us. We need to start making preparation. Even the fanaticism we have seen in our churches with time setting and all of this madness, this is telling us that something crazy is about to happen. You know, Satan is working. Every wind of doctrine is blowing, and I'm just seeing people being swept away left, right and centre. So I'm just saying that this is the time now we really need to hear God's voice. Men in the church, demon possessed. Like, demon possession is real, friends. I'm just saying that we need to start taking this serious and start seeking the Lord while he can be found before it's too late. Friends, this is so serious. I can't emphasize it enough. And we really need to start making preparation. We need to be on our knees daily. We need the Lord like never before at this time. So please don't take this lightly. Pray, fast, ask the Lord for guidance, ask Him to show you where He wants you to be at this time. Humble yourself, be ready to give up all for Him. Now is the time before it's ever too late.